Hi love bugs, it's your girl Lynn and I'm back with another video for you guys. So in this video, we're going to be talking about polycystic ovary syndrome, also known as PCOS. Now, before I talk about it, let me just go ahead and say, your girl ain't a doctor, she ain't a nurse, but from my experience and my doctor's appointments and things that I've been told in my research, I'm just going to give you a couple of facts, how my experience was, and maybe this can help someone else who is dealing with this. So I was recently diagnosed with PCOS July of 2021, but I knew about it way before then because it was one of my major concerns growing up. I got my first cycle when I was 16. And I believe that one lasted about 7 days and it was extremely painful. At this time, your girl wasn't even having sex, so I didn't even have this fear of ever being pregnant. But after I ended up getting my first cycle, I ended up getting it in school, but because I was a late bloomer, I kind of already knew because I would do my research and I always feel like, well, why is my period not here? What is going on? Why do everybody else got their period and not me? And I felt kind of left out because most women or most teens, most girls get their cycle while they're in middle school. And 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th, your girl didn't have a period. So I was excited when I first got my first period when I turned 16. It was extremely painful. For some reason, I could barely walk, I could barely move. And my gym teacher just ended up telling me to go in the locker room and lay on one of the benches because I was in so much pain. I remember going in the bathroom and I wiped and there was like so much blood and clots, but I was just so excited to have my period. So I believe the next month I didn't have a period, and then next month after that I didn't have a period. And mind you, like I said, didn't have a fear of being pregnant because at the time wasn't even having sex. After the first period I didn't get a period until the end of that year. A few months after that, didn't get a period. So then that's when I brought this concern to my mom. She was like, if you're really concerned about it, we'll set you a doctor appointment and figure out what's going on with you. At the time, I had a doctor of color. And this lady was just like,
oh, it's normal for, you to start your period and it to go away.
And I was like, that's normal? Okay. Never questioned it again. By 18, my body still wasn't regulating. I was still getting a period once or twice within the year. But it was never monthly. Like, I was only getting a period either at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year or at the beginning and the end of the year. That was it. So I was going months without a period. That's how bad it was. So when I turned 18, I ended up getting another doctor who was an older lady. And she was like,
I don't see a problem with you getting a period. It really doesn't matter.
And at this time, 18, I'm having sex. So it's like, I need to know what's going on with my body. By this time, I have done all my research. I'm looking, I'm trying to figure out what is wrong with my body. And the only thing that comes up is PCOS. And growing up, I always been a hairy child. So weekly shavings in my face, I always thought it would be normal because my mother did it. My sister does it. My granny did it. So it was like, oh, I just thought that was normal. So my current doctor that I have now, I got her at the age of 22. And she was also a Caucasian lady. And I'm so thankful for her because when I told her what was going on and I told her that my doctor before her, which was an older lady, but she ended up retiring, that's why I no longer have her. She was like, that doctor wasn't doing her best for you because not only with PCOS, but it was other problems that was going on with my health, nothing really major. And my current doctor was like, we're going to get you in check. Like, we aren't fit to be playing with your life. No, ma'am. So I'm so grateful for her. So I told her my concerns of me only getting my period for a year or two. And she was like, that's not normal. And then she was asking me more questions that had to do with PCOS because I guess when women miss their period for so long or don't have a period for so long, that's like the number one thing that doctors go to. So she was like, we're going to get you an OBGYN. And that's what happened. So my current OBGYN is a male. And when I told him, oh, I only had a period in February, he was like, I think you may have PCOS. Let's run a few more tests and see. And then it was finally confirmed in July that that's what it was. It was incredibly difficult having PCOS and not knowing, especially knowing if I could have done something about it when I turned 16. If my first doctor would have been like, oh, you have PCOS, let's go ahead and get you straightened out. Or if my second doctor, who was retired, would have been like, oh, I think you have PCOS, let's get you to OBGYN and see. If those first two doctors would have been on it when I told them that, oh, I'm missing periods months at a time, I wouldn't have to wait so long and let more damage pile up onto my body or become more infertile or whatever the case may be. So for me, since about the age of 16 until now, me being 22, like I said, I believe I had it when I was 16, but my doctor, she wasn't about nothing. I have struggled with an eating disorder, which I also had when I was younger as well. But I struggled with the eating disorder called binge eating disorder, or BED. I was diagnosed with depression, and not only depression, but bipolar depression, where I can be extremely happy now and then go ahead like a minute later and be extremely sad and don't know why I'm crying. I've dealt with trouble conceiving. Not saying I'm trying for a baby now, but when I was in a relationship at the time, I was trying to get pregnant, trying to conceive, and not knowing what was wrong with my body or what was going on or why I couldn't get pregnant at the time. And it was all because PCOS. Excessive hair growth all on my face here and here. You can't really tell it now because, like I said, I do use cream hair remover on my face weekly, so you really can't tell. But if I go a week or two without it, you can definitely tell all the hair here, like it's extremely bad, and even under here. And I really don't have a mustache as bad, but you can still see the hair here. And then when I shave or when I wax, my hair grows back within a week or 2 weeks. Like, it's horrible. I have high testosterone levels, which also has to do with this major hair growth. And I have even had trouble losing weight up until recently when I started keto. My previous doctor that retired, she ended up putting me on birth control because she was like, oh, if you're missing periods months at a time, let's just go ahead and put you on birth control to regulate it. Did not work, does not work. And I wish people stop recommending that for people because it does not work. Even my OBGYN now told me it doesn't work. So my OBGYN and my current doctor are both trying to figure out and wondering why this lady put me on birth control when it does not work. I took birth control for about 6 months straight. And that's the only reason why I had my period for like 6 months straight. But after I got off birth control, it went away. For me, I have had a period since May, mostly because I was on keto. And I know a lot of people who have PCOS, they do keto, low carb, or the calorie deficit. And I don't want to say it reverses PCOS because I don't think it reverses it, but I do think it tends to either lower it or slow it down some. And when I started keto back in April, I ended up getting my period in May, and I have had a period every month since May. So from May to October, I have had a period. I'm not saying keto, low carb, or calorie deficit will work for you, but like I said, it has worked for a lot of women. If you think that this is something that may work for you, just go ahead and give it a try for about 6 months and see how it helps your body. Lastly, they said that PCOS isn't hereditary, but for me, I believe it is because like I said, my granny, she also had the face hair, whereas my sister, she has the face hair, but it was harder for her to conceive. And my mom, she also was how I was in the beginning, where she only got her period once or twice a year. She has the face hair, and her periods are extremely painful. So I do believe that it is hereditary. Although doctors say it isn't, if you look around the people around you and you pay attention to the signs, you may tend to see that they may have a lot of signs and symptoms of PCOS. So love bugs, that's all I have for this video. As I stated before, I'm not a doctor. This is just my experience and a few tips that I wanted to give you guys that have helped me. And I will catch you guys in another video. Bye.